Well, that brings our look at St. Patrick's Day to a close. But not to worry, the green fields of the mind will remain in April.
Ball two, strike two. They're taking a cut at everything that Dean serves up there, trying to get that tying run around. Hogue is a fast enough boy on his feet. Ready for that next ball to be pitched. Umpire dusts off the home plate. The sun has gone back of a cloud somewhere. We can't see the cloud, but it's somewhere off to the west.
Then the saddest game I believe I ever lost, and the toughest game I ever lost, I hurt my arm between 34 and 38, and I was sold to the Chicago Cubs for $185,000 and 4 ball players, and with my sore arm. And we won the pennant that year, and I was pitching the second game against the New York Yankees.
Cub fans are yelling for Dizzy to hold him. Runner on first, ready to go with the pitch. Dizzy stretches. Steps off the mound as he finds out that the hitter has stepped out of the batsman's box. Ball 3, strike 2 down, and the runner on first can go with the pitch. Dean is pitching to Selkirk. Dean stretches.
And in the 8th inning, I had him beat 3-2.
There goes the ball out to left.
And Saucetti came up the plate and hit a 3-2 pitch into the left field seats for a home run and beat me 4-3. Well, I didn't have a thing on the ball. It was a lot of difference throwing that nothing ball up there in 38 than it was that far ball in 34.
Ball 3, strike 2, 2 men down, and Hogue on first base. Dean ready to pitch this ball down to Crossetti. Dean swings out of the mound, toes the rubber. Runner on first can go with the pitch on a 3-2 with 2 down. There he goes. Here's the pitch. There goes the ball for a high, long drive. Out in the left field stands for a home run. Crossetti hits a home run out into the left field stands, and the score has now changed complexion. It's the Yankees 4 and the Cubs 3. 2 runs coming in, and that's only hit number 5 off the pitching of Dean. A well-hit ball. He's been aiming for that all afternoon. The Yankees are all jumping up and down over there on the bench, and they're patting Crossetti on the head and hitting him on the back. Crossetti finally got the first home run of the World Series. There goes the ball for a high foul toward first. No sense going for that. It's way back in there.
I was taken out of the ball game, and Gabby Hart was our manager that year. I went over to the dugout, and I really felt bad. And the fans in the Chicago ballpark, something like 45,000 people, stood up and cheered as I left the mound. And when I started going to the dugout, you could hear the pin drop. I finally went on into the clubhouse, and the fellow I saw up there first was a grand old man of baseball, Connie Mack. He put his arms around my shoulder, and I sort of felt a little better. He says, "Son," he says, "you pitched a great ball game out there with what you had on the ball." He says, "There's one game I'd like to see you won, although it was against our American League club."
Next time on Breaking Walls, in honor of Major League Baseball's opening day, we take a trip to the batter's box and bring our radios with us. We'll tell and hear baseball stories from some of the most famous broadcasters and players in American history. The reading material for today's episode was Treadmill to Oblivion and Much Ado About Me by Fred Allen, On the Air by John Dunning, Network Radio Ratings by Jim Ramsberg, The Museum of Broadcast Communications Encyclopedia of Radio by Christopher H. Sterling, as well as articles from the New York Daily News and the New York Times. On the interview front, Fred Allen was interviewed by Tex and Jinx on NBC Radio, November 24th, 1954. Goodman Ace, Tallulah Bankhead, Jack Benny, Mort Green, Jim Harkins, George Jessel, Doc Rockwell, Donald Voorhees, Pat Weaver, Roger White, and Herman Wouk spoke for Biography and Sound, May 29th, 1956. Dennis Day and Phil Harris spoke to Chuck Shaden. Hear these full chats at speakingofradio.com. Dennis Day and Elliot Lewis spoke to John Dunning for his 71 KNUS program from Denver. Morton Fine was with Dan Hafley. Jack Crucian with Jim Bohannon. Orson Welles on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And George Burns spoke to Barbara Walters. Selected music featured in today's episode was The Sails of Galway by W.B. Snuffy Walden, Overture on Hebrew Themes, Opus 34 by Andre Moisan, The Minstrel Boy by Jacqueline Schwab, Someone to Watch Over Me by Blossom Dearie, and Swing Into Spring by Benny Goodman. Subscribe to Burning Gotham, the new audio soap opera set in 1835 New York City. It's available everywhere you get your podcasts and at burninggotham.com. Special thank you to Ted Davenport, Jerry Hendigas, and Gordon Skeen. For Ted, go to radiomemories.com. For Jerry, visit otrsite.com. And for Gordon, go to pastdaily.com. I'd also like to thank Walden Hughes and John and Larry Gassman of Spurdvac. Listen to their shows on the Yesterday USA Radio Network. Breaking Walls episode 138 will steal home with baseball radio memories. This episode will be available beginning April 1st, 2023, everywhere you get a podcast and at thewallbreakers.com. In the meantime, give Breaking Walls a quick rating on whatever platform you listen, especially iTunes. You can also join the Breaking Walls Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/thewallbreakers. And support this show for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/thewallbreakers. So until April 1st, my name is James Scully. This has been Breaking Walls episode 137. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you very much.